रेडियो गरम मसाला तड़का मार के।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Radio Garam Masala. We've got Vijay Yesudas, son of the legend KJ Yesudas, here with us today. Welcome to Perth, Vijay.
Thank you.
How has your trip been so far?
It's wonderful. Perth is a very nice, beautiful small town.
Small town.
No, I'm just joking. It's a wonderful city. It's very quiet in comparison to Melbourne and Sydney, so it's nice. It's the first time I'm here, so.
This is your first trip to
Perth?
Yes.
Yes.
So you've been to Australia before?
Yes, plenty of times. And
plenty of times.
Perth is it's good. It's exciting because it's the first time we're performing here, so we're looking forward to the audience.
Excellent. You have obviously travelled a lot. You have been in. You left when you were in 9th standard to the US. You studied. You were brought up. Majority of your childhood has been in the US.
Correct. Yeah.
And you have obviously holidayed abroad. What is it so far here in Australia that has stood out for you, or something special that you think has made a difference to your trip?
Well, the people here are very nice. Generally being around, a lot of countries and all that, and of course there are nice people everywhere. Luckily, we've not met anybody other than nice people here in Australia. So, of course, Indians, and being always in Australia for shows, there's not much else we can do other than that. And I have a lot of friends in Sydney and Melbourne.
Okay.
So that helps.
So did you catch up with
now
all your
I have
friends?
a few friends here in Perth as well. So that helps too.
That's great. So did you catch up with your friends in Sydney?
Yes, yeah, we did. In fact, they came to both. One of my closest friends, he flew with me to Melbourne as well, and we hung out there. So it was good.
Excellent.
It was good fun.
So you had a good time in Sydney?
And Melbourne, yes. And I'm having a good time in Perth as well.
That's good to know. Our little hometown. When you sang your first song in playback song in Indian cinema, your first song, which I think was in the Malayalam movie Millennium Stars in 2000?
Correct.
Did you, when your father, of the legend of Indian music, heard your first song, did he criticize you, or was he all praises for your music?
He didn't say much, actually.
He didn't say much?
He doesn't say much, actually. So I didn't expect any comments from him. And at the same time, I don't think he heard the songs until it came out. So,
okay.
But he, in fact, the funny thing is that he recorded every one of those songs with me on a separate day in the same studio. But the 4 songs that I sung in Millennium Stars were along with my dad and Hariharan sir.
Okay.
So it was a good experience for me as a first timer. But for him, of course, I mean, he just did his job and he went about it. He just went about it. So, it's just, for me, it was just a beginning. I was all jitters and stuff, and I think, eventually it came out. The songs did really well. I mean, it was a great beginning for any singer to ask for. But then, of course, there was a drop for several years, actually. I just had 1 or 2 songs for about 3-4 years, even though I was Yesudas' son. So, so I had to work for it, and eventually the breakthrough happened many years later.
It was unbelievable. You have actually marked your identity because you won the Kerala State Award for Agaleoni and Marakonda Matram.
Correct. Yeah.
My favorite 2 songs.
That's the second state award. I mean, the first breakthrough that I had was for the first state award. The first time I won the state award was for Kolakural. So that was a breakthrough song. Kolakural was what made me and Shweta in Malayalam industry in a way, and every other song after that maybe. So so mainly that was the breakthrough for me. So it came in only after 7 years of being in the industry. Which is not much. It's not like I can say I struggled like other newcomers who don't have a background like I do, but I still had my share of struggle.
Find your way up.
Yeah.
You made your way up.
Yeah.
You have actually performed and made a lot of albums as well. So was that part of the 7 years that you had a break from film music?
No, in fact, see the problem with our industry, it is a big problem if you're dependent fully on film music. If you don't have that, you don't really have much fame or much of a demand for other albums or whether it's a devotional market or whatever. So unless you have popular songs in film, and unless you have a good name and through that, nobody really wants to work with you in other albums.
True.
Or do shows of yours. So it all comes in hand, and that's why those 7 years was a struggle for me.
Okay.
And so, but then I worked through that, and the comparison of being compared to my dad straight away was the only challenge that I was facing, or if it was the challenge, which most young singers face in Malayalam especially. But for me, I only looked at it that I'm only being compared to him rather than anybody else. Yeah. So I looked at that as a challenge, and I went with that.
Did you find yourself in like a shadow of people comparing you with your father?
That shadow is always going to be there. I can't escape that, and I don't want to. It's fine. But still, even with that shadow, I'm able to have my own shadow as well. So
excellent. Yeah, you've marked your identity now.
Not many people have two shadows. So.
That's very good. As a present generation youngster, do you actually follow a very disciplined lifestyle, like your eating habits, trying to maintain your voice, and what are the things that you do before a concert?
I like enjoying life, and I like enjoying food.
I've heard.
Yeah, and so I don't restrict myself too much, but on and in and around when I'm on tour and stuff like that, I do control to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And keep myself healthy as far as exercise and stuff like that is concerned. So that's about it.
Okay.
I do stuff that my dad, he doesn't exercise much. He cannot really, get out there and run and go to the gym and all that stuff. So I do all those things that he doesn't, where he controls in his food habits. I
do it other ways.
Eat well and and enjoy it, and then I work out. So.
Do you find when you travel with your father, are your trips different, or do you prefer traveling alone for your shows?
For my own shows, yeah, I travel most of the time. I travel alone.
Do you think it's different because when you're on your own shows, you can just let your hair down and go out and party? But
I'm not much of a partier type of whatever. But I like going out with friends, eating, movies, and bowling, and activities like that, sports and stuff like that. So I don't really party. I don't drink or I don't smoke. So I'm not the best person to go clubbing with.
Oh, okay.
Clubbing or any party for that matter. I lived in. I studied in University of Miami, and Miami is a party place, so-called, known to be a party place. And I've been to South Beach once or twice in my whole 4 years of college. So that's how I party. So that's how much I party. So. I'm not exactly much of a party person, but I like it with friends. I party. I enjoy it.
Yep.
When we have DJ music in my house or in our apartment, that is my wife's, and we amongst ourselves we have a really good party. So.
You are based in Chennai. Is that right? So when you travel, do you actually feel that you do give a lot of time for your wife Darshana and your daughter?
Yeah, we travel quite a lot together as well. There are times like this when now it's been 20 days and I'm away from them.
But your daughter.
But that's she's still yet to come to terms with it. But she understands. So sometimes she gets emotional, but it's okay. That it just works out. Eventually they'll understand, I guess. Hopefully.
True. They'll get used to it.
My dad didn't have it that difficult because he had 3 boys.
That's true.
It's always difficult to satisfy a woman or a little girl. So, they tend to get more emotional about it, I guess. My mom was somebody who was okay with him going, and he always took all 4 of us, and my mom and 3 of us, everywhere for all shows.
Wow.
And I guess it was more affordable for him. Someone like him can tell an organizer, give me 4 tickets along with me, whereas I can't really afford that. So
right, yeah. But do you actually take
I do. We travel quite a bit. Your
daughter's name is
Hamaya.
Okay, yeah.
So we do go quite a bit, but this just depends on the organizers
and
the circumstances. Yeah,
of course.
And now she's got school. She's in kindergarten, but she's got school, and she'll be done with it on September 1st, and hence after that she'll join. Both of them will join me in Hong Kong. So,
okay.
Which is our next show.
Holiday.
Next
show. Okay, so
what you said, we don't holiday much. We holiday in between our tour like this.
Yeah, if you can,
So
But I think
singers don't get paid as much as actors. Actors after their
they
shoots.
should change that. I think.
No, I don't think you should change that. I'm just saying we just don't get paid as much, so we can't really holiday on our own. But we get to tour a lot, so we tour and holiday partially. So.
But people do tend to forget that the actor's voice is actually you guys that bring them to the
That's about
fame.
it. That's all though. I mean, that's
true.
why in our industry everything surrounds who you sang for, or which
True.
star you sang for, or which star's film you were a part of. All that matters in our industry so much because stars put so much in to the film in our industry, especially. They dance, they act, they do all the stuff. Whereas our job is just to go sing for them. It's not easy, but at the same time, it's not as difficult as for them. The pressure they have. So
True.
obviously, reasonably, they get paid more, and they are the
True.
more important figures in the industry. But yeah, the music on the other hand, and the shows that we do, none of them get to do that. So
True.
I mean, I have friends who are all some of them are actors.
Yeah.
Dhanush and Dulkar and Naren. All three of them, say, oh, you get to travel so much and all that. I mean, they wouldn't last a day when they travel like this and do shows on top of it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they go through so much more vigorous pressure
and
and strain when they are on a shooting location and from morning to night and all that stuff. So it goes hand in hand, I guess.
True. I asked the same question to Das uncle before, your three boys in the family, Vinod, Vijay and Vishal, and you are the one that followed your dad's footsteps. And do your other brothers, both of them, sing as well? Or?
They do. They have quite a... When they speak, they have actually very similar voices to like my dad.
Yeah.
So we all three of us, when somebody calls my dad or calls home, there's a time when all three of us could answer at any different time and talk like him, and they would be fooled. Even my mom sometimes, but my mom knows obviously. But but they can sing, but they're just shy. They're very shy. They're just very laid back and. They like to stay back
Dad
behind
has let them do whatever they wanted and choose
their
their own career.
Both of them are in banking and the business side of things.
One, if I'm not mistaken, was inclined towards tennis. Is that right?
My older brother.
Older one.
He was a good player. I mean, he played in college as well. He used to play in the circuit in India a long time ago and a lot of tournaments and whatnot. Yeah.
He didn't pursue it further.
No, he had a tennis scholarship, in fact. To go to University of Miami. He was playing for the team.
Okay.
But he just kind of stopped. After 2 years he stopped, and he had these jumper's knee injury or something like that, and he decided he'll concentrate on studies, and he graduated with honors in BA, so all the more reason. So they're a little more on the stronger side as far as the academics is concerned.
Yeah.
Whereas I go on the more artsy side. So I did my BA in music as well. But I was more into the theory of music and the practical side of it.
So you actually had professional training?
In Western classical, yes.
Western classical.
And then before, in 99 August, we recorded for Millennium Stars. It came out in 2000 Jan. 2000 Jan, I came down for that and my dad's 60th birthday. And then I ended up staying back. I didn't go back. And I ended up staying...
You didn't go back to the US?
Yeah. And I ended up staying back and I started taking Carnatic lessons then.
Okay.
That's when I actually started a proper Carnatic training.
Into that music.
I mean, a proper training, a continuous training. I only started at that age, so.
Oh, excellent. So your brothers are back in...
No, they're all in the US.
All of them are settled in the US.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We're really looking forward to the 31st of August.
Yes,
and
I'm looking forward to it.
we're really looking forward to you singing all the latest Marakonda Matram, Agale Undi. I hope you're singing those songs.
I hope so. We're just sitting and editing the list and rehearsing as well, just making sure that everything can fit in.
Yeah. I know
you're
in the time
frame.
Yeah, sure.
But we have better time here than we did in Sydney and Melbourne.
Oh, that's excellent.
So, we're going to look, and it's the first time we're performing here, so I'm sure everybody would want to listen to all the songs that we have.
Of course, yes.
So that's going to be the difficult part of it, but hopefully we'll get the right...
Trying to please everybody. Yeah,
hopefully we'll get the right list up there.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Can I please request you to, may I please request you to just give our Garam Masala listeners a message from yourself?
Yes, to all the Garam Masala listeners, this is Vijay Yesudas, and you're listening to the spiciest radio station in all of Western Australia. Keep listening and have some garam masala in your life all the time.
Tadka maar ke.
Yeah.
Radio Garam Masala, spiciest radio in town.